We're getting a statement from the White House summarizing how the talks went in China this week and also talking about next steps. The statement from the press secretary says that the discussions this week were detailed and intensive and that led to progress between the two parties. The statement says that the U.S. side focused on structural or long-term issues like the forced technology transfer and like some of the other issues that the U.S. side has been hammering on throughout this process. They said that the two sides also discussed China's pledge to buy more U.S. goods, but it does not say what the outcome of those discussions was. It does say that there is much work that still needs to be done and that a lot of work remains here and that the talks will continue in Washington next week. So now that is confirmed by the U.S. side as well, that the Chinese officials will be coming to Washington to continue these talks. But according to the White House, detailed and intensive discussions, but much work remains. Andrew?
Okay, but Kayla, help us here in terms of just reading between the lines. The much work to come, does that suggest to you that there's any chance that we could have a deal by March 1st?
It really depends on the two presidents here and whether President Trump feels like there's enough progress that has been made to essentially bypass that March 1st deadline and keep the talks open. What I'm reading from this statement is the U.S. side wanted to deal with some of these structural issues. The Chinese side wanted to talk about buying more U.S. goods, and we obviously ended at a stalemate. That's how I read the line, much work remains. That's how these talks have basically gone since the beginning of them, where China has been willing to essentially provide some sort of short-term, near-term solution to try to close the trade deficit, which is important to President Trump, but doesn't solve the issues that have been raised on intellectual property violations and forced technology transfer, state-owned enterprises, some of that stuff. So it does seem to hint at the fact that these two sides are coming at these talks from very different places and that they made progress this week, but perhaps not the progress needed at this moment in time to go ahead and delay that March 1st deadline.